Hi everybody, welcome to week 17 of the Sober Sessions, and today we have the very lovely Karolina Kadkowolska with us. Have I said your name right, Karolina?
You did, you got it.
Been practicing. Before we move on to this week's topic, obviously we're a little bit thin on the panel this week, so Simon and William can't be with us this week, but they will be back as normal, and we'll let you know what's happening with that as we progress. So before we move on, how is everybody first off? Who's going first? How's your week been, Dave?
I've been all right. We had that week off last week, didn't we? Because we spoke to Catherine on the Thursday, and me and my wife went to Devon, and we had a lovely hand-in-hand walk around Salcombe, and there was actually 2 or 3 people were nudging each other, and the next day we got messages saying, "Oh, we saw you in Devon last weekend, and we did want to say hi," and that. Yeah, we're A-list now.
You're recognised.
2 or 3 different people. It's probably me. No one knows me. But yeah, it was really lovely. It was nice to have the Saturday off, actually.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to be back today.
And other than that, I mean, not other than that, as well as that, you've felt well, you've been good?
Yeah, I don't look so tired this week, do I, Alex?
I think you look amazing, Dave.
For all you out there, guys, Alex dropped it in a couple of weeks ago. You look absolutely shattered, Dave, and I haven't got over it since. So I've actually slept for 2 weeks now.
But I'm now not ever going to get over it because Dave's massively offended. I have told him today he looks 10 years younger at least.
Oh, I had my hair cut short.
Now, Dave.
Well, thank you. And Lisa's looking very hot today, aren't you, darling?
Thanks, Dave.
What are you doing? You going on a date?
No, I'm not. I don't do dating anymore. I went on one. It was a bit weird. It was like dating a 40-year-old, 17-year-old. Very odd. Not into that. So no, but I am actually going out after this. So I'm going meeting some friends in the pub. So we'll see how that goes. They have Heineken Zero on tap apparently. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm a bit giddy. I'm a little bit excited to be going in because I've not been anywhere, obviously, with the way things have been. So I'm a little bit anxious, but also a little bit excited, I think, to see people and feel a little bit of normality.
And you haven't had too much coffee this week, have you?
No, I haven't. Alex has been round this morning, haven't you? And I've made it. Normally, Karolina, what she does is I make a big jug of coffee because she has issues with coffee. She drinks a lot of it. And then the other Saturday, she left me with the jug, and I don't like waste, so I drank it. And then by the time we got to the sober sessions, I was jittery, I was shaking, it was awful. It was so awful. It was awful. I had headache.
You had a coffee hangover, didn't you?
Yeah, it was I didn't know it was a thing, but it was really, really bad. Palpitations, the lot. So yeah, none of that. I might have a sugar one tomorrow.
Yeah, from all the non-alcoholic drinks.
Yeah, we'll see.
So we've had a bit of a weird week as well, haven't we? But for those of you that haven't seen it, the article on me went out in the Daily Mail.
Oh, of course,
Unbelievable, well done.
Honestly, it was one of the most terrifying things that I've ever been a part of, but it felt really liberating as well, like to tell my story. And they did a really good job with it. Even though it's in the Daily Mail, there's been a lot of weird comments about it being in the Daily Mail. A lot of weird comments saying, I'm not reading it, it's in the Daily Mail. But I've got to say, it's a really accurate reflection of the conversation that I had with the editor. Really accurate. They've stuck pretty much to what I said. There's a couple of sensationalized parts, as you'd imagine, but all in all, I was really, really pleased with it. Terrified, especially because people that I used to work with in my last employed job have actually messaged me randomly and said, saw you in the paper this week, had no idea. I was like, well, there you go. Obviously did a good job then of being a drinker, didn't I?
You know what, Alex? I was thinking about this. Like when the article went out and then pictures, which were well funny, by the way. Everybody saw them. They were like absolutely hilarious. But I just thought these are pictures that we used to have like on our Facebook. We just put them up. And now, kind of, when they're in a paper, people will look and think, oh my God, she must have been horrific.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case, really, was it? These are just pictures that most people do have on the Facebook from
as a night out.
Yeah. But when it's in
they're
a
all
different
together.
Yeah, and when it's in a different context of like, you know what I found really weird? That it called you woman of 40.
It's 41. I'm actually 42, so I was all right with it.
Oh, well, there you go then. Never believe what you read in the papers.
Yeah, I found it weird being called a woman. I'm surely not a woman yet.
No, you are.
Oh, that's sad. Right. Well,
come on.
So what about you, Karolina? How's your week been?
Oh, it's been an amazing week. So this week I just finished up a challenge for my euphoric community called Think Like a Non-Drinker. And it was a completely free challenge to just adopt the mentality of someone who does not care to drink, the same way that a vegetarian builds up an ethical, healthy, amazing lifestyle and makes that their identity. And they don't go around missing meat, right? Like they're empowered to be vegetarian. And so really also dreaming up big lives and big dreams. And I'm so excited to share that topic today, because when you pinpoint your reason for change with a bigger why, with something you really, really want, juicy life goals, it motivates you so much. And so we just finished that, and it was incredible turnout and incredible ahas. And now I myself am in a Tony Robbins conference, and it's just amazing. I'm obsessed with personal growth. I'm obsessed with pushing myself and growing myself. It's one of the greatest human needs, is to grow. And it's, I think, a more fulfilling need than the need for comfort, which is why so many of us turn to alcohol. But it's been an incredible week for me, and I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, we're actually really excited to have you on, because, you know, we've been on your podcast, you've been on our podcast, and, you know, both of us, when we both times left, we always feel lifted by you and your positivity. So, yeah, so let's get straight in. So we're talking about the greater why. Now, obviously, Dave's a coach as well, and looking at the greater why forms a heck of a lot of our conversations, because when you speak to people and you say, why have you quit drinking, they tend to look at the superficial level in the first instance, don't they? Like, oh, you know, I want to be healthier, or I want to live longer, or, you know, they don't really delve as to why. So yeah, the floor's yours, Karolina. You go for it. You give us your stance on this.
Amazing. So, you know, I just want to share a slight backstory. I was 30 years old when I stopped drinking. And I, at that time, was clueless. I was just clueless at what I wanted to do with my life. I knew, I had this like gut feeling, this intuition that I was made for more than the mediocrity I found myself in. I worked a 9-to-5 job that was, you know, okay, whatever. I was drinking every weekend. I wasn't trying new things. I wasn't growing myself. I found myself in the same patterns of gray area drinking, over drinking on the weekend, feeling like shit on Monday morning, right? And constantly wanting to expand beyond that, but always being held back again by the drinking. And, you know, I had these dreams of wanting to be a writer when I was a little girl. I had these dreams of making a huge impact in the world. And it's like the time that I both became a drinker and kind of settled into the realities of adulthood of, you know, just getting a paycheck and figuring things out. It's like all of those goals just fell off the radar. They became someday goals. They became something that I really didn't even believe were possible for me. Like, oh, that big idea I had about writing a book when I was 16, like, that's not going to happen for you, Karolina. Come on. You don't have the discipline. You're not even writing. Like, what is this, you know? And it was painful. It was very painful because, you know, I think one of the most painful places we find ourselves is stuck. And in a same way, being stuck is just like living in your comfort zone, because we know it. It's familiar for us. We know the shape of it. We know how we feel in it. And that's what drinking is, right? It's the biggest comfort zone. It's not a question of right or wrong. It's not a moral failing. It's not a weakness. It's your comfort zone. And your comfort zone is also where you feel your dreams slowly dying inside, because you're not working on them. You're not growing yourself. You're not challenging yourself. And so when I finally reevaluated the role of alcohol in my life, I'm telling you, I didn't know where to start on my biggest dreams. I didn't know how to write a book. I didn't know how to do anything. But when I started reevaluating the role of alcohol in my life, that was my position and my starting point to figure out everything else, and everything else fell into place. So I really want to share with you why exploring alcohol-free living will help you to discover your bigger why. And I'm talking about like deep life purpose here. And what if I was to say to you that maybe the reason we're all over drinking in the first place is because we're unfulfilled with our lives, and that the intuition to maybe be curious and reevaluate the role of alcohol in your life is actually a greater message from your gut to reevaluate your entire life. And I don't mean from a position of like, oh my God, everything has to change. I have to quit my job. All these things are scary. But no, you're deepening a relationship with yourself. You're learning more about yourself and you're discovering what you really want. So I'm going to share with you the 6 top reasons why that happens. When you discover and explore alcohol-free living, you will explore your deeper purpose. And look how true it is, you guys. I have 3 other people here on this panel that I'm sharing this with who have completely reinvented their lives, not just because they stopped drinking, but their entire purpose and passion, right? You guys are doing the sober sessions, you're coaches, you've completely changed your purpose. And I'm sure it's so much more wildly fulfilling than going to the pub every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and over drinking, right? I mean, you guys shine so bright. I mean, it's so true for me. It gives you such a deeper purpose. And that's the big juicy stuff. It's not like you can't drink, you have a over drinking problem, all this stuff is being taken away from you. If you want those big juicy life goals, that big dream life, start with your relationship with alcohol and just watch it unfold. So the first reason why you will discover your deeper why with an alcohol-free lifestyle is energy. I mean, nobody on the whole planet wakes up after drinking like enthusiastic to go after their dream life. They're not waking up going, yeah, today's my day. I'm going to go do a bunch of stuff. I'm going to rock this. Absolutely not. There's no energy. You're entirely depleted. You're exhausted and you feel mildly depressed after drinking. There is absolutely no motivation to go out and do the things that will transform your life. You literally revert even more into your comfort zone. You get the fast food, you get binge watching TV. It is a horrible, energetic state for you to be in, and nothing happens in that state. Nothing good happens in that state. And we all know this. And I'm sure so many of us start talking about how amazing alcohol-free life is purely on the physical benefits, purely on the energy, the improved sleep, you know, the heightened sense of enthusiasm and like joie de vivre that happens when you go alcohol-free. So first, you need your energy. Second is your confidence. So, you know, when you're have a complicated relationship with alcohol, which studies show that most drinkers have, 60% of drinkers overdrink and misuse alcohol, you are constantly letting yourself down, constantly, because you have these intentions. I'm only going to go out and have 2 drinks tonight. And what happens? You fail at that. And it's not the first time you do that. You do it over and over and over and over again for years. And it slowly crumbles your self-esteem. And it crumbles your ability to even believe that you have what it takes to keep promises to yourself. You lose your confidence. I had the lowest self-esteem possible. I didn't believe that it was even possible for me to achieve any of my goals and dreams because of this drinking habit. And so when you explore alcohol-free living, you take your Achilles heel, the one thing that you think is your greatest weakness, and you start smashing it. And you go 2 days. And you go 7 days, and you go 20 days, and you go 30 days, and you're like, holy hell, who is this person? I don't know this person. I've never done something like this, right? And then you go 40, 50, 60 days, and every single day, you're building up both your pride and your confidence because you can abide by your greatest intentions and your greatest values, right? And being out of alignment with those is so painful. And that confidence that you're getting, that I can, oh my gosh, I can do this. What else can I do, right? It starts to spill over in other areas of your life. And then that's when the magic happens. Then that's when you start doing new things and exploring new ways to push yourself, and you're confident that you can do it. The third reason is the clarity, you guys. So think about what is happening in the back of your mind when you're a drinker and you're trying to moderate, or you're trying to drink less, or you're just trying to get this under control. All the time it's, should I, shouldn't I? Should I, shouldn't I? Will they notice if I have a 3rd glass? Should I not have this? Should I drink tonight? Should I go to the store? Should I da-da-da? Then the next morning it's, oh my gosh, what did I say? What did I do? I failed myself again, da-da-da. It's this mental chatter that is taking over your entire mental space. It is so, so, so loud. And when you get the clarity to free yourself of that, to start taking a break from alcohol and free yourself from that mental chatter, you get the space. You get the mental space to have different kind of insights, different kind of ideas, different kind of aha moments about what you should be doing in your life. It's like the freedom you get in your mental space will give you so much clarity around actually having these insights about what the next right step is for your life.
It's
The fourth,
like, you know, before you go on to fourth, I think it might be a good talking point at this point, because if it's all right, if we can just stop you 1 second while we just have a little chat around those first 3 points.
absolutely.
I feel like I've just been coached.
I'm literally like, oh my God,
So
Yeah.
good.
who are you?
It is, honestly, it's like, these are things we know. These are things that deep down we all know. And they're kind of very simple points to notice. But you're right, you know, confidence, when you are constantly setting yourself goals that you cannot meet and do not meet, and you keep telling yourself, you know what, I've drank more, I've failed. It can't do anything other than chip away at the person you want to be. It's like, I've just had a little moment of realization actually on this call with you. It's like, you know, all the time you're setting these limits for yourself that you never ever stick to, and you just start to think, I'm a shit person.
Yeah, but do you know what, Alex? It's I quite often talk about regaining self-esteem, and if you're chipping away at yourself constantly with your lack of confidence, then your self-esteem goes down, and then you feel worthless and you feel nothing, and you begin to hate yourself. It's just a catalogue of disasters. And it ends up like me. I loathed myself. I hated myself for having this thing beat me. And you're right there, Karolina. It's the whole thing that you've said is really empowering, but the way you say it as well.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
I just love, every time I've spoken to Karolina, I feel like I want to stop drinking all over again, even though I've already stopped.
Yeah.
I'm like, throw that bottle away that I hadn't even got.
Yeah.
You know, I just think it's so amazing. I've just had a quick glance on our Facebook comment here, and honestly, it's so good. Already we've got like loving this, mind blown, Nicholas said. And I just think that's how you feel. It's just, yeah.
If I
All
lose
of it,
the
you're like,
clients now, because you, Karolina, I'm coming to find you.
But I do think the 3 points so far that you've said, I cannot imagine one person in that group not being able to relate to all 3.
Yeah.
You know, all 3. The chatter, unless you're William Porter, may I say, he's not with us today, but William Porter does not inside his head.
No.
Unless you're William Porter, that chatter, that for me is the worst. That for me is, and the hangover, but that for me is one of the worst. That shall I, shan't I, what did I do, why did I do it, oh, what have I said, who have I upset, all of that voice. And you actually, when you're drinking, you believe that voice is the real you, and it's only afterwards when you realize actually that's not even me at all. That's like the devil on my shoulder. That's not me at all. And you cannot see that when you're a drinker.
But when you drink, that voice is always there, because it's that thing in the morning when you wake up and you make that decision immediately, right, I'm not drinking tonight. And gradually throughout the day, it begins to shift, and that devil gets louder, and it's, well, maybe I can have 1, maybe I can have 2. 5, 6 o'clock, sod it. I'll start again tomorrow, you know. So it's quietening that voice as well, isn't it? It's taking the power back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, we've interrupted you. You were going to go on.
yeah, come on, I'm excited. Next,
more.
number 4.
I'm so glad it resonates, and you know, it's wildly, I think, fun when you let yourself experience a break from alcohol in this way, because you have to picture what you're making room for in your life. And you know, we can go on and on about that forever, but let's finish up these points. So I think the fourth one is that you get a clearer connection with your intuition. Now, there is that part of us that is the quiet voice in the morning. And I'm sure we've all heard this along the way, that quiet voice that might be telling us your life would be better without alcohol. Your alcohol is holding you back from your fullest potential. You were made for more than this, right? And that's that most wisest voice from our very core. And for so many years, we probably not only ignore it, but we don't even allow it space to come up, right? And it's in those quiet mornings that we hear it and we hear it. And finally, we've all here been brave enough to listen to it and to say, okay, well, what if I take that fear, the voice of fear and the voice of ego and the voice of just have one, and put that all aside and listen to that other voice that feels so much truer to me. And you start to listen to it. And you can call it your intuition, you can call it your inner guide, you can call it the voice of the universe, the God, whatever works for you. But you start listening to it and you get a clearer connection with it because you're finally trusting it. You're trusting the message that it has for you in your life. And that strengthens the relationship you have with your intuition. And it will continue to give you messages like that. And now here's the thing. When I was 30 years old, although I knew in the core of my being that my life was made for more and I was supposed to make an impact and I was supposed to live my passion and not some dreary 9-to-5 job, I had no idea what. I was clueless. I had no idea. And if you've ever felt aimless about, what am I supposed to do with my life, or what's my purpose, what's my passion, it's very typical to feel aimless like that when you have a drinking habit, because drinking, the one thing that it does very, very, very well is it numbs. I mean, you guys, it used to be used as an anesthetic in surgeries back in the day. Drinking numbs your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And when you numb those, you never get to learn from them, process them, and actually learn what they're trying to tell you. Your emotions are there to guide you in life, to guide you to what you really want. When you're feeling sadness, anger, frustration, disappointment, all these things, your emotions are trying to tell you how to make shifts in your life, right? When you're feeling dejected and unfulfilled at your job, your emotions are trying to tell you how to make shifts there. And when you're constantly numbing those emotions, you won't know. You won't have a clue about what you're supposed to do. You will feel aimless and you'll feel slowly just dead inside because you don't know. And it leads you into this mediocrity. It leads you, most of us aren't drinking on the side of the road in a ditch. It's not that bad, right? But is it good enough? Is the mediocrity you find yourself? That's like the spot that we all find ourselves. That's the spot of, hanging out in your comfort zone, not growing, endless cycle of this like repetitive life that you've been there, done that over and over and over again. And when you are brave enough to listen to your intuition the first time to say, I'm going to take a break from alcohol, you've strengthened that and you start feeling all those emotions come up. And so for some people, they're so powerful and they're scary. It's like, oh my God, I'm feeling for the first time again. And it can be a little overwhelming. But those emotions are meant to be felt. They're meant to be processed in healthy ways, and you're meant to learn from them. And as you do that, you will slowly get the next sign from your intuition of, okay, Karolina, this is the next step for you. And I had it like a light bulb moment for me. And it was like 10 years of not knowing what I wanted to do with my life. And all of a sudden in one afternoon, I felt like a calling from God to launch my website Euphoric and dive deep into this work. And I'm sure you three have also had a very similar like awakening at, what I should really be doing with my life. And it's because you trusted your intuition, you made a stronger connection with it, you allowed yourself to be vulnerable and go for it. Okay. Number 5, I believe we're at, is your creativity. So going to the pub, getting a bottle of wine, watching Netflix, drinking on the weekend, drinking on Saturday, drinking on Wednesday, whatever it is the most monotonous, homogeneous experience you could possibly have. You feel drunk at a concert, you feel drunk at home, you feel drunk. It's the same feeling. And when you are constantly living in that repetitive cycle, again, it's being in your comfort zone and doing the same thing over and over and over again. And you push yourself outside of that and you start to do new things with your time, don't you? You start to creatively do new things with your life and you have new experiences. And I have a course, Become Euphoric, that's like an 8-week guided course, not only to walk people through the mental freedom of alcohol, but then to discover their bigger why. And in week 7, it's all about having brand new experiences, like the wild, crazy things that you've only ever like thought about doing, like going to a tango dancing class, or doing aerial yoga, or boxing, or paddleboard yoga, or writing retreats and workshops, like all this stuff that you kind of wanted to do all this time but haven't had the either courage or even motivation to do, you start putting yourself out there into new experiences. And it could be new projects at home. Maybe you start coloring at home, or drawing, or weaving. I mean, how many people pick up like knitting and stuff like that? You start writing more, maybe you start expressing yourself creatively and writing. That happened for me. You know, I had writer's block for so long as a drinker, and I was finally writing like crazy when I was going through this experience and letting myself tap into that inner creativity. And when you let yourself have these new experiences, you start to learn what you like, what you don't like. You push yourself out of your comfort zone, and it opens the doors for what's next. It really does. And no, I'm not saying you're going to become a professional tango dancer just because you went to a tango class, but it opens the doors to the next thing. It really does. And it opens your mind to what's possible. So the creativity that you get, I mean, it's huge. It's so, so huge. And I think creativity, we don't have to associate with just the fine arts. Creativity is building something new in your life, doing something new, right? Expressing yourself in a different way. So you take all that, you take all of the energy, you take the confidence, you take the clarity, you take the intuition, you take your creativity, and you find a deeper purpose. You really find a deeper purpose. And, you know, I have had clients who right now I'm working with, we're not even talking about alcohol anymore. We're talking about writing her book, her incredible book that she's always wanted to write at the back of her mind, you know? Same thing happened to me. I've always wanted to write a book. I felt like I never had the discipline or even the belief in myself before. And because I blocked my intuition so much, I couldn't even access my creative muse before as a drinker. It's such a myth that alcohol helps your creative muse. No, it's totally the opposite. And you start letting yourself explore, again, these new opportunities, these new hobbies that you might have, new friendships, and you discover a deeper purpose, whether that's through, maybe I am supposed to write a book. Maybe I am supposed to launch a community of like-minded fellows. Maybe I am supposed to coach. Maybe I am supposed to, you know, start a business in my backyard. Maybe all of these things start opening up to you. Maybe I can finally go for that promotion. Maybe I can finally switch careers, all of this stuff. And it's almost like it takes time. I'm not going to lie. It's not like something that happens within your first week alcohol-free. But from all of the people I've heard from all of the people who've been walking this path for months up to years, it really happens for most people. It's like night and day what happens, because while there's so many different root causes of why we have complicated relationships with alcohol, and so many scientific ones and societal ones conditioning all of that, you know, is it possible that when we're repeatedly hanging out in our comfort zone over and over and over again, every single weekend, every single week, that we are slightly unfulfilled with our lives and the direction that it's going? And what a better like awakening to have, to start rediscovering that, to rediscover your passions, rediscover your purpose. Find what really makes you happy, you guys. I mean, so many people think a glass of wine at the end of a Friday night, you know, it sounds so romantic. And, you know, is that what really makes you happy? Is that what really makes your soul sing, stirs you? Like, what did you used to love to do as a child? All of these things is, I always say this to some people who, you know, are still kind of grappling with whether or not to take a break from alcohol. You think you enjoy your wine. You know what? I bet you enjoy way more than that wine. Writing a book, running a half marathon, making new friends, like these incredible fulfilling life moments that we have that completely replace and explode and magnify any sort of misguided pleasure we might have associated with alcohol. Like chasing your dreams, chasing your bigger why is one of the most wildly fulfilling feelings in the world. And the thing is that all humans have an inherent need to grow. It's within all of us. You know, when you look at just the universe from a biological level, everything in our universe is either growing or dying. Every plant, everything, the universe itself is expanding. You know, everything is either growing or dying. So when you're hanging back in your comfort zone all the time, we've all felt it. We all know that it slowly feels like you're dying in your side. Dave just said it, like you slowly feels like you hate yourself and you're just crumbling. And so when you push yourself instead to motivate yourself to grow, to continually challenge yourself, to continually push yourself outside your comfort zone, to meet new like-minded people, to do new activities, to try new hobbies, to put like some intention behind like what I really want to do with my life, you will find that need to grow trumps that need for your comfort zone and that security and that certainty, because that's a false illusion. Anyway, we all know that the comfort zone is a huge, huge, painful place to be. And so making growing the most important part of your life, it will become like the new positive addiction. It really will, in the most positive sense. And you will start to inspire people around you. People will, I mean, I'm sure there have been times when you guys weren't as public about maybe ditching alcohol, where people are like, hey, you look great. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, it shows in your face, it shows. And so many people are so worried about, well, what am I going to say at this party? Or what am I going to say here or whatever? You know what? Alcohol is this like warped matrix that we all live in. And so many people have been falsely conditioned to live lives as drinkers. And it's like, are you going to stand up to that? Are you going to be the rebel? Are you going to be the inspiration that somebody else needs for yourself to take your life back? Are you going to be that like light to someone else, that radiance to someone else, and let that guide you? Let that be like your bigger reason of, you know, like, I'm going to be a rebel in this space. I'm not going to worry about what people think about what's in my glass. I mean, you guys, we're talking about a beverage here at the end of the day. Like, let's get objective about it. It's a beverage, and we worry so much about what people will think about us, whether or not we choose to drink a beverage. I mean, is this high school, right? Our worth is so much bigger than the opinion of other people. And when you start to play big and live life for your own bigger dreams, instead of worrying about what other people will think, you will escape the biggest fear of all, I think, that most humans have, is the fear of regret. And you will continue to propel yourself forward into your dream life. And I just want to share a little bit, and it's not to brag or anything, but it's just because I cannot believe that I am here compared to where I was. I have a book on its way to publishing. I've quit my 9-to-5 and launched my dream business, where I get to work with my dream clients and solve something that I'm so passionate about. Bring about this kind of transformation for other people, bring about this like awakening to their bigger dreams for other people. I get to do that every single day. I put myself out of my comfort zone and ran a half marathon. You know, I've launched a podcast. I'm on videos all the time. I mean, who would have thought 5 years ago that we would have been comfortable just even talking on the internet? It's crazy.
You know, Karolina, just, you know, when you see people on your Facebook ads or your Instagram ads, and they sat there and they're going, I've got this dream business and I earn this much and I'm doing that, and you're like, whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's so nice to actually talk to somebody.
It really has.
That we know that this is real life. Yeah. And it's not just like one of them corny ads on Instagram.
I was just going to go, yes, I'm quitting drinking all over again. It's like, honestly, I think your energy and your passion for this just shines through just in the way you speak anyway. But I think it's important to recognise there's going to be people sat there thinking, you know what, I don't feel good at all. I've got anxiety. My sleep isn't good. I'm eating like a pig. I can't stop eating chocolate. I've got headaches all the time. I'm putting on weight. My relationship's falling apart. Because sometimes it can feel, as much as we've got all the feels with the positivity, because you can feel the feels and you're not numbing it, bad times feel really, really bad, don't they? They do. They feel really, really, really difficult.
Absolutely. And, you know, I mean, the thing is, though, is that we've trained ourselves as a society. We've never been taught to feel our emotions and to express them. I mean, from being a little child, you're told to keep it in, be quiet, stop crying, right? We're never taught how to actually process and feel our emotions. And so that is one of the scariest things that we put ourselves through, right? We are so scared to actually feel them, because what if it is bad? What if it is scary? What if it is painful? What if it is all these things? And I completely understand that it could be really overwhelming for some people to feel those emotions the first time. But there's this great analogy that the late Debbie Ford has. And it's like, all our lives, we have these inflated balls that we're trying to hold underwater, and we're swimming and we're treading the water and we're holding them down and we're holding them down and we're holding them down. And maybe in your teens and 20s and 30s, it's like you have the energy to hold those balls down, right? But what were to just happen if you just let them go? If you just let them experience them and process them and felt them? Yeah, it would be painful in that moment for yourself to feel that, right? But how would you feel the next day? your emotional resiliency and capacity to feel those feelings goes up. And you can actually learn from them. So if you felt dejected or sad about something, or your relationship feels off, I mean, these are all messages. These emotions are messages for you to make shifts in your life. And they don't have to be big shifts. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to leave your relationship. You don't have to make these grandiose life statements, but you start taking baby steps in the right direction. If you keep numbing the emotions that are trying to tell you a message, you will never take any action. Never, ever, ever take any action. So think those emotions, think all of that painful feelings for helping you, teach you where you need to make shifts in your life. And I'm not saying it's easy. Oh, hell, it's not easy. But guess what? Like, you guys, we've all done hard stuff. We've all done the hard stuff. The women on the panel here have birthed babies, right? We've done our careers. We've done incredibly hard stuff in our lives. And have you done the hard stuff and felt wildly fulfilled afterwards? And yet when you choose the easy route, when you choose the like path of least resistance, how do you feel after that usually? Right? We feel let down. We feel like we, weren't trying. I mean, what's the greatest fear in life? That you tried and you fail, or you never tried at all?
Do you know what I was going to say that about feeling your emotions was, it was probably just over a year now that I did the same walk as I did today. I walked across the common, and what they've done, they've shut the whole high street off, and they've made it into like a paved area where all the bars are out on the street. It's like a holiday feel. And last year, it was like a mix of cravings and emotions, and I had to deal with that to get to the next level. And that gave me strength, to go for these baby steps is what you're saying, is to overcome these emotions on my own and think, right, I'll go two ways here. I can either go straight to that pub there and have a drink, or I can deal with this, think about it, acknowledge it, process it. And today I walked through the whole thing, and there wasn't once I thought, oh, I could murder a drink, because I'm over it now. But getting over it is because I've gone through the process, and that's what's made me so strong. So for anyone out there who can resonate with what you're saying, Karolina, about the beginning of it, it's really important to actually go through this stepping stone of learning to sit with your feelings. That is such an important part of the journey.
And it is hard, Dave. It is sitting with your feelings. The first time you experience a death when you're sober, you experience a loss, a down, a reprimand at work, a friendship, the first time of everything is hard. It is hard because you haven't got alcohol to numb it out. You've got to feel the feels, and that's what we say. You feel the feels, you learn from it, you think, right, okay, this has happened. What can I do next to make sure I never have to feel that bad again? And I know we say, and it sounds so cliche, but it does get easier. Every time you hit one of these things, it does get easier. I often say this, and everyone on this panel, everyone in the Facebook group, in fact, everyone now in the world who's read my article this week, I had 2 miscarriages in the last 18 months. The first one, I was drinking. The second one was less than 2 months ago. Now, I would not have been able to sit here and talk to people like this 2 months after my first one. And that's not because I'm any harder about it, or I've not, kind of grieved for it, but because I'm not numbing it out, it's a real grieving process. I've grieved, I've moved on. I'm not bitter about it because I'm not drinking to knock the chemistry in my brain and replaying all the things that you do replay when you drink. Yeah, it was blooming horrible. It was painful. It was hard. It was really, really hard. It'd be hard for anyone. But you know what? You learn new coping strategies, and you think, right, okay, what can I do? I'm not going to pour wine. I'm going to exercise like mad. I'm going to take my aggression out on a run. I'm going to sit and meditate, and I'm going to have, make affirmations and be thankful for the 3 children that I have got. You learn a brand new outlook, and that's what it is. That clarity that you're talking about, you tune into that intuition of gratitude. And I think that, people who are early on in the journey, they talk about the pink fluffy cloud. It comes for everyone. I don't care who you are. It might come in 30 days. It might come in 10. It might come in 100. It comes, and when it comes, it's just amazing because you don't have to fall off it. I think,
And do you know what's right about what you say as well is when you go through this process, and like we've all said on this panel that we know in our heart, and Karolina, you probably say the same, we know that we're not going to drink again. And there's certain people that say, well, you can never know that, but I see the sunshine. I don't want to go back to that dark, sticky black mud that I was stuck in before. I see the sunshine and I'm striving all the time. And my life is, yeah, I've got issues. We all got issues going on. Life is real still. There's no miracle cure. You've given up drinking and woo, I've won the lottery and everything's great. And sometimes, as Alex has said, feeling these emotions makes it harder to deal with. But what you just said there, Alex, is so true. What with your grieving is that it was real, honest grieving.
Yeah.
That you went through, rather than the numbing and then the grieving that you're still intoxicated, and it was real grieving, and that's so healthy for your soul. It
is, and I'm only going to talk for me here because not everybody feels this. And I don't want to come across as heartless, and I really hope I don't, everybody. It was quicker. Like I grieved for, my dad died 11 years ago, and I grieved for my dad up until a month or two ago. And that for me was because the grief that I experienced in my drinking years wasn't real. When I stopped drinking, I grieved and I moved on. I'm not saying you get over it. I'm not trying to, it's very hard to articulate without coming across as being cold. But the grieving process was quicker because you go through those stages of anger, frustration, sadness, bitterness without numbing them out. You go through the stages. It just happened quicker. So I was able to take myself from A to B much quicker. Now that might not be the same for everybody. I'm not pretending it is. But yeah, for me, and I think you've said the same, haven't you, Lisa, in similar situations, that grieving has been quicker sober.
It's just different, I think, for me. I suppose I've never really thought of it as a time limit. I just think, like Karolina says, I really get like the balls that you're saying about pushing them down, and it's like we're taught to do that our whole life, aren't we? It's like, right, you're sad, but don't be sad now because you've got work to do and you've got this to do and you've got that to do, and we're always trying to cover up everything, like to make it better. I think that's the thing. We feel like we have to be happy all the time, and I'm dead lucky because I think I am happy a lot of the time.
Wow.
And no, I am, and I don't know whether that's just a lifetime of practicing, all these gratitudes and self-help books and things like that. I just love them. But yeah, I think we don't have to be happy all the time. It's okay to be sad sometimes, and some people find that easier, but don't hang on to it. I find that really hard. Some people love hanging on to being sad and angry, and it's like they want to be sad. They want to be pissed off that they're not drinking. They want to feel sorry for themselves. And I think this is where all the mindset comes in. And that's kind of where you're going, isn't it, Karolina? You're working massively with people's mindsets.
Well, absolutely, because I mean, as we've all discovered, you're not giving anything up, it's what you're gaining, right? It's this incredible thing that you're gaining. And when you can switch your mindset around, one of the most painful things for me to see is people who have been sober for months, even years, and they're still like, oh, I can't drink. I can't, And it's like, as if drinking is some kind of incredible paradise of amazingness. And it's like, who are we freaking kidding? Who are we freaking kidding? You think you're the only one who has hangovers? And, Alex, I really just have to honor you so much by sharing your story and sharing, the losses that you've gone through. And I'm so sorry to hear. And something that you have brought into so many other women is a gift. It's a gift of vulnerability. It's a gift of sharing your heart. It's a gift of understanding that we're not alone. I mean, is there anything more painful, especially when you're a drinker, is feeling the isolation, feeling like you're all alone, feeling like you're the only one going through this, feeling so many different stages of our life, whether it's grief, whether it's transitions, whether it's not knowing what you're going to do with your life, all this stuff, we go through it entirely alone. And if there's a gift in our problems, it's for us to grow from them. It's for us to grow ourselves immensely. And two, it's for us to turn around and help the woman or the man behind us, right? And how much would you have appreciated someone who could have guided you? You know, like, how much do you just want to go back to the past version of you sometimes and be there with them and talk them through this kind of stuff, because they need you. And just like you're doing, sharing this with so many people around the world, you know, that is the light in the problem. And it's so hard to find the sense, and why is this happening to me? Why did this, you know, you can't ever just have some kind of logical answer to that. But if you know that it's going to grow you, know that maybe this will give you a gift to help other people, and you know, to stop the isolation, to stop the pain that everyone feels alone by themselves, and bring together this community of people who are willing to be vulnerable and feel their feelings and go through both the magnitude and the crazy loss that is life. I mean, this is life fully alive, and we're here to do it together. We're here to grow together. We're here to help each other. And there's nothing more fulfilling than stepping into that space. You know, Brené Brown has this incredible analogy that she takes from Theodore Roosevelt about stepping into the arena. And stop being in the sidelines, stop being the critic in the sidelines, stop just wishing, hoping jealously at the life you want. Get into the arena bravely, and you will find other lone wolves in a world of sheep who are doing it with you, and that will be your community. Those will be your peers. And they're all out there. They're all in this group right now. They're mentors, they're cheerleaders, they're people who will support you. There are people who will inspire you because you aspire to be them. You know, when I was going on my journey at first, I saw people in these Facebook groups hitting 50 days, 100 days. And I was like, holy hell, I want that. And then I saw people running Spartan races and doing half marathons and launching their own businesses. And I was like, holy hell, I want that. You are the most similar to the 5 people you surround yourself the most. Your proximity to people is literally who you will become. And I'm not saying ditch all your drinking friends. It's not like that at all. But be mindful of the spaces you inhabit, because when you surround yourself with people who are going after their dream lives, going after their best alcohol-free existences, like, you will be inspired to go after your bigger dreams too. And so that really is so powerful.
I'm coming hanging around with you.
I am. Get over.
You and Tony can be 2 of my 5. And you guys.
Do you know what I find? And it's just something you said there. And what I find, and I'm not criticizing anybody here, but I find it really sad when people say, I don't want to tell anyone I'm not drinking yet. I find that really sad, because it means they're feeling judged. It means they're feeling afraid to explore and afraid to be themselves. And there is a lot of judgment, and there is a lot of stigma, weirdly, around getting sober, because we're stigmatized more than the people who are drinking poison. But there you go. And I find that really, really sad that has to happen to somebody. And the other thing is, and these are just points more than questions, but maybe we can talk around them. And the other thing is, with that story the other day, and other things we've all done, I've seen it on your post, Dave, you know, Simon's, Williams, yours, Lisa, yours, Karolina, where they say you're such an inspiration. People put you're such an inspiration. And I always say back, well, you're an inspiration. You know, you might not be the person that's 300 days yet. I might be a year ahead of you, but you're a day ahead of somebody right behind you, like you've just said. And you're somebody's inspirations. Please speak up. You know, I know it's not easy to tell people you're not drinking, but I want people to stand up and be proud in the sobriety, and, you know, own it, because it's making you a better person. It's making you the person you are meant to become. And it's quite sad when I see people saying, I'm not telling anyone I'm not drinking. I understand it. I understand why. But I really wish that I could inject some sort of...
The only thing, Alex, there is that I've heard that before. And the only way I think is that we're all different.
Yeah.
And it might not actually be that. It might be the fact that that's their way of coping in the beginning. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It might be them being quiet is what helps them to propel themselves forward. Yeah. And then one day they will go, do you know what? I haven't drunk for 3 months. And then people go, wow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I say, I understand it, and I understand different reasons, and I understand different paces. I guess my comment is more around those people that are afraid afraid to tell people because they feel stigmatized again. They feel threatened by their peer group. You know, I understand there's different reasons. I'm being very blanketing here, really. Come on, Lisa.
Do you think at the beginning, though, you know, when you stop drinking, like in the first few weeks, you're not necessarily stopping, are you, because you know that how awesome life's going to be. You're stopping because your life's so terrible with it. You don't know this is all to come. So you kind of, in the first few months, you're not going around like so proudly sober and this is amazing and this is fantastic, because you're learning so much, and a lot of it you're trying to get over the last 20-30 years of absolute crap you've just done to yourself. So it's that kind of, when you get to a point, and I don't know where that is, I think it's very different for everybody, isn't it?
It's different for everyone.
Like mine was definitely, I remember mine was around 70 days, I think, and I only know because a post came up, you know, like on a time hop, not that long ago, for what I was like at 70 days, and I'd wrote like, this is just amazing. I know I'm going to do this forever and ever, and I'd like told the world. But for some people, that can be a lot longer, can't it? So I think that's more why people don't really say it.
I think there's loads of different reasons, aren't there? Judy's just said here, I'm now so excited to tell people. I even told the postman, haha. So
yes.
That extreme. And then you've got Snowdrop Zone says, agree with that, Dave. I'm happier keeping it to myself. I want to be able to know that I can do it before I go out and tell the world. So right there, you can see the extremes of opinion, and it is very much down to people. And I'm not in any way, I want to make that clear, I'm not criticizing people's choices. My point is only about those people who are afraid because of what the reaction will be.
Judgment.
Yeah, and I guess it's less about the people that don't want to say it and more about the people that are judgy, really, when I look at it like that.
Yeah.
People shouldn't be judgy. It's not fair, is it? She says, just judging people for not speaking.
Listen to Karolina, though, like, you're so inspirational. And we had Catherine Gray on last week, and she mentioned the fact that she's learnt out that she's quite introvert. And I have. And I was the loudest person in the pub. And my wife's been saying all week, she's been saying, you're really, really quiet. And I've been saying, well, I'm an introvert. You know? But I have changed so much, but I feel I've changed for so much the better, you know. I think a lot more. I'm deeper, you know, I'm more relaxed, more reserved, and it's really strange what the gift of sobriety can bring you, the surprises that you, I mean, I'm 18 months plus now, but there's days I get up and I'm like, wow, do you know what I mean? Like even today when I walked through that whole packed street of drinkers, I walked through and I thought, there's not one part of me that wants to have a drink. You know, and in the grand scheme of things, it's not that long, is it? I mean, it's great, but to just sack it off, I've divorced it, and no more. I don't know what accent that was, but
I don't know what it was either. But I think, I think the conversation just generally around who you tell, whether you're introverted, whether it's changed you, like you say, we've all only discovered these things through one common thing, and that's quitting alcohol.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's the greatest personal growth exercise you could ever go through in your entire life, and the fastest road to your biggest dreams.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So what's your book, Karolina? Where is that? You say it's going to the publishers. When's that going to be out?
So I'm signing a book deal this week. So hopefully, that usually takes about a year still. So got a road to go, but you know, I've been in this process already of writing and, you know, getting a book agent for a year and a half. And so it's just like one incredible baby step after another. Like it's almost like the snowball effect, you know, you keep moving forward and you're never pausing. I mean, what other than like alcohol that we were using every weekend to pause on all the health goals, all the life goals, you know, you were always stopping your momentum. And now you allow yourself to actually carry it forward and let the snowball grab all the extra snow, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And, you know, in a few years, you can't even recognize your life anymore.
So
my analogy is that I've opened the door now, and come in, I'm open. You come and bring me what you want, because I'm ready for it. I can take on anything, you know. That's how I feel genuinely. But before, when I was drinking, I didn't feel I was capable of anything, because I was stuck in what I said earlier, that thick black mud. You know what they say about living your best life.
yeah.
By opening that door now, it's like, I'm open. You come and get me. You offer me what you like now, because I'm ready. Do you know what I mean? And that's the gift it's given me. And I'm waiting for a book deal. So please, the door's open. I put my plans in with my wife a month ago.
It's all about opportunities, though, isn't it? And open yourself up to those opportunities, as we've said. It's like, you know, you wouldn't have even gone for these things had you been drinking, and it's as simple as that. It is. We don't have any questions in the group, but do you know what we do have, Karolina? You're gonna I don't know if you're in the group, but if you're not, you need to join, because there are just comment after comment after comment of how amazing people are finding this conversation and how excited they are, and it's just amazing. I really want you to see these comments. No questions here, but people are wowed by the conversation.
There's a little bit of stuff, Alex, at the bottom about people being really worried at first about posting on social media or telling people, and I know we've touched on that. But somebody else, it's Pandora's, just said that she's really proud to be sober, not proud of her past, and she don't want to tell colleagues why, because she doesn't want to be judged by work colleagues about the addiction and things like that. Absolutely breaks my heart, honestly. It really
That's
does.
what I was saying before. Yeah,
this is something that Alex and I are very, very passionate about, and getting out into the workplaces to teach all these bloody managers and bosses how to deal with things like this, because you should never ever be ashamed of your story. And I've mentioned this before about when my Olivia was at school and mentioned that they were talking about podcasts, and she mentioned that her mum did a podcast, and the teacher was like, oh my God, that's amazing, what's it about? So she said, oh, it's about being sober. And the teacher kind of went, oh, it must have been so hard for her. And that is right. So Olivia came home and she was like, oh, my teachers think you're an alcoholic. And I'm like, how bizarre, because I don't drink and they all do. Do you know what I mean?
It's the same thing on Pandora's message there, where she said about work colleagues or about her addiction. And that's, you know, this is another thing. Society makes us believe that in order to be sober, you must be an alcoholic. And that is not the case. You know, you can choose a sober lifestyle because you choose a sober lifestyle. Thinking addiction, but you don't have to believe that you're an addict to want to give up drinking.
Can you imagine, Alex, too?
Yeah.
Like, you tell your friends, you tell your coworkers, hey, you guys, like, I really want to lose some weight. I want to get healthy. I want to get fit. I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to eat plant-based. And they're like, oh my gosh, why? You're not obese? Are you obese? And they're so worried about you. And it's like, why? We don't have to fall into any of these categories or labels or anything to make healthy lifestyle changes in our life. And, you know, the biggest thing that I can say to people fearing judgment, you can go through this privately. You can say excuses if you want to, if that feels safer at first. But the biggest thing to remember is that this is bigger than you. Do you know how many years I wanted to take a break from alcohol, but it was always the dinner party on Saturday or some birthday that I had to go to. And I was like, I can't show up there and not drink. I didn't think I was allowed. If I would have met just one person at that party that maybe I could have had a conversation with, that they weren't drinking, what a role model that could have been for me. What a like paradigm shift of saying, oh, I can go to social events and not drink, and like that's okay. And imagine like you're actually at that party and you're not drinking, and someone maybe strikes up a conversation with you. Imagine the paradigm shift you can make in their mind. This is so much bigger than you and your story. You can make a difference by inspiring others and being a light. And you don't have to post it on Facebook and go public on LinkedIn and go crazy like that. You decide what feels right for you. And maybe it's just that one-to-one conversation you have at the next party you go to. Maybe you plant a seed in someone's mind that life can be better, and you give them the pathway, the acceptance that, oh, I don't have to drink to go out. I don't have to wake up with a side of hangovers just to socialize, because we all are conditioned to believe that that's what we have to do. 100 years from now, you guys, alcohol, like with the technological advancements that we have, the health advancements, alcohol will be replaced. We will not have something this poisonous that we drink as a society to socialize. There'll be something better. There'll be something different, right? And in 100 years, we'll look back and say, all of those people were poisoning themselves and giving themselves hangovers just to communicate with other adults. Like, what a strange world.
You know, and
you put it like that.
It's true. I was listening the other day to Professor Nutt, and he said toxicology studies have been done on alcohol in the same way that they would do them on additives and on preservatives that go into food. And the results show that only half a glass of wine a year is safe enough to not get cancer. Only half a glass a year. So there is no way, if it was discovered now, that they would even legalize it. Just no way. And there's a few things, you know, we've all got to remember something here as well. You know, it's the only drug we have to say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know. If somebody was lining up cocaine and you said, I'm not going to have it, nobody would say, come on, have one. Just have one. Nobody would say that.
My old mates would have done.
Yeah, but in reality, you know, like in most societies, you're not going to go in and people force you to be doing this. It's the only drug we have to force us to feel like we fit in. We have to do it. And if we face facts about it, I put this on LinkedIn this week, actually, when you're speaking about LinkedIn. It's not.
Got a new account, Alex?
Pardon?
Got a new account?
No, I've had it for ages.
Okay.
It's not us and them situation. It's such a gift.
She's dropping this LinkedIn in, doesn't she?
LinkedIn. No, it's not an us and them situation, is it? It's really not. It's not a case of, well, these are the people that don't drink and don't get addicted, and these are the people that do drink and do get addicted. Alcohol is an addictive drug. Anyone who starts to drink it has the potential to become addicted. That is scientifically proven. You cannot argue with science. It's an addictive drug. One day it's going to be accepted. We accept nicotine is, we don't yet accept that alcohol is as a society.
You know, you were saying that, Alex. I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I'm at an era, an age, that I remember going to the cinema and people smoking, sitting on the back of a plane and people smoking. I mean, how revolting is that? You're going on a holiday and there's people chain smoking on the plane.
I did that on the first holiday to Ibiza. I was 14. I drank and smoked on the plane. Yeah.
And I can honestly say I don't know if I know anyone who smokes anymore.
I totally agree. I don't know one person who smokes, you guys, and just think of the normalized culture that used to be. I mean, alcohol's the same way.
And I think we're at the bottom of the hockey stick now, that we're going to move up, and in 5 years it will be absolutely really common for people not to drink. And when I go out, we're lucky enough to be members of a club. No one bats an eyelid if you.
Oh,
it's not ever an issue, you know. I think we're in 5 years we look back at this and we go, wow.
I agree.
Yeah, we'll be like old. How we'll be like, oh, we've been doing that for ages.
Yeah, we were doing it before the pubs closed.
At the beginning of the bell curve or at the very end, right? And so the beginning of the bell curve are these rebels, are these forward-thinking people, are these amazing individuals taking back their lives and showing people there's another way. These are the brave early adopters. That's you. And again, I totally believe, I agree with Dave, one day this will be the norm. And, you know, then when you're looking at your relationship with them, it's going to be a lot harder to make changes. But now, like, you can delight in the idea that you are the wolf in a room full of sheep. And you have so many other wolves around you that want to up-level their lives, that want to live their dream, that aren't going to settle anymore for any kind of mediocrity.
Well, I've got
Dave's writing down, I am a wolf. Are you writing down?
Yeah, that's tomorrow's post. I'm a wolf amongst the sheep. That's me done.
Love it. Feeling it, Karolina. So listen, before we go, please could you just tell everybody where they can find you, a little bit about your podcast and so on. We'll post the links anyway, but if you could just tell people, because I'm sure after listening to you today, you're going to have a swarm of people find you. I really believe that.
Absolutely. So my community is called Euphoric Alcohol Free, and I'm a coach. So I work with people, clients, either one-on-one to go through all of these issues, not only transforming their relationship with alcohol and get mental freedom from alcohol, but then position them to go after their dream lives. And so I really love combining those two and not just making it, oh, this is just this alcohol thing we have to fix. No, it's not about that. It's your gateway to what you really want in your life, right? So I work with clients one-on-one in that area and through my course, Become Euphoric, which is like the framework of my entire step-by-step process. So again, I think sometimes it takes people years to get to the point of mental freedom, and I got to it in a matter of weeks. And I just want to show people how to have that mental freedom so that they can use their energy, their mental energy, on what really makes them happy, on what really makes them feel fulfilled and impactful in this world. And so it's called Euphoric Alcohol Free. The website is www.euphoricaf.com. And I'm on Instagram. I have a private Facebook community with an incredible group of soul seekers, podcasts as well. So I have a podcast with my co-host Danielle, and we talk about how incredible life is alcohol free, how much more healthy, successful, productive you'll feel. And, you know, if you like my energy and you like this kind of positive framing that everybody here also has, like, you will love, continue to put this kind of stuff in your ears, continue to listen to people who light you up, to mentors who make you believe that there's another positive way. Negative reinforcement doesn't work, you guys. The whole shame and blame, the whole you can't do this, you need to do this, you need to blah, 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 it doesn't work for a sustainable way, and you'll just feel more broken. And that's for so long the way alcohol has been treated in our society. You need the positive light, you need the uplifting, you need the cheerleaders in the room, and you need people who are showing you that not only it's possible, but that you have the infinite gift within you. You have an infinite potential. And it is your destiny to fulfill it. It is your destiny. You guys, we have one life to live. And what's going to hold you back more? The fear of worrying about what people will think, or the fear of the regret that you didn't go after your big, juicy life?
Wow. Tony Robbins, move over, I'm telling you.
Yeah, definitely.
We need you on a stage. Motivational TEDx speaker, Karolina.
Sign me up.
Oh, thank you so much. Honestly, I know people will have gained so much from today, because I know I feel like I have. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm going to the pub dead positive now.
Thank you so much for being on, Karolina.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's great to be here with you.
So lovely to meet you. Honestly, you're fantastic, and hopefully we meet in real life one day.
Yes.
We owe it to ourselves to do that, you guys.
Oh, absolutely. But can we come to you, please?
Anytime.
Alex, shall we just let everybody know what we've got on this week?
Oh, yeah. So
before we go.
Yeah, we've got a lady called Pippa Marsden, otherwise known as Mum on Fire, on Wednesday. We're going to do a midweek special at 8:30 on Wednesday. And then we're rounding the season off. Please don't go mad. We're season off next Saturday at 8 a.m. with Rebecca Weller, who is the author of A Happier Hour and Up All Day. I nearly said Up All Night then. That's because I'm thinking about being up all night. And Up All Day. So they're the next two. We will then be on at 4 o'clock the following week on the Mindful Drinking Festival, which is all done online. If you don't know where to find information about that, it's on their website, and that they can tell you how to sign up for some of the panel talks. But all of us at the Sober Sessions have got the panel, a panel at 4 o'clock where you can join and do Q&A. So we'd really appreciate you coming over to that. That's on the 1st of August. And then we are going to take a little bit of a break because we've just got loads of other stuff going on, and we're not, the group's still open, but we are taking a little bit of a break. We'll give you more information in the group this week. And
we are going to talk about our lives, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We're going to be touring America.
Yes. Yeah, that's where we'll go. We're going to tour America.
And we're all going to stay around Karolina's house.
Yeah.
we are going to actually aim to do a live event as a team in the new year at some point. But yeah, we haven't finalised any details, but we will keep you up to date with that in the group.
Yeah. Thank you.
See you Wednesday, everybody.
See you then. Bye.
Thanks, Karolina.
Thank you.